Cory Booker leaned back in his chair, eyes glinting under the blinding studio lights. The debate stage was tense, every microphone hot, every word captured in high definition. Millions of Americans sat on their couches, watching live, waiting for sparks to fly. They didn't have to wait long. "Senator Kennedy," Booker said with a smirk, his voice sharp as a blade, "you've made a career out of playing folksy while pushing policies that hurt real people. You might sound like a kind uncle at Thanksgiving, but the truth is you're nothing but an obstructionist in a suit." The room gasped. Cameras panned instantly to John Kennedy, sitting calm but clearly stung. His slow blink and pursed lips betrayed a man fighting not anger, but disappointment. The Louisiana senator had heard his fair share of insults before, but something about Booker's words of the smugness, that dismissal cut deeper than most. For a few beats, Kennedy didn't respond. The moderator shuffled his papers, ready to move on. Booker leaned forward, confident, as if he'd landed the knockout punch. But inside, Kennedy wasn't broken. He was waiting. That night, after the debate, Kennedy walked quietly back to his hotel. He didn't rant or lash out. He sat alone at his desk, the faint hum of New York traffic outside his window, and opened his leather-bound notebook. His hand shook slightly as he began to write out not a rebuttal, not a comeback, but a speech, a message not just to Booker, but to the American people. The following morning, Kennedy stood behind a podium in the Senate chamber. The room was packed with reporters. His team had spread the word that the senator had something to say. Booker, seated a few rows back, crossed his arms, his earlier smirk replaced with guarded curiosity. Kennedy adjusted his glasses, cleared his throat, and began. "I've been called many things in my life. Some of them true, most of them not. Yesterday, on live television, I was called an obstructionist, someone who stands in the way, someone who does not care. Well, let me tell you a story." He paused. The chamber was silent. "When I was a boy, my father used to tell me, John, the measure of a man is not how loud he speaks, but how he listens." Growing up in a little town in Louisiana, I learned that the people who talk the most don't always care the most. Sometimes, the ones who sit quietly, who show up when no cameras are around, are the ones who move mountains. Reporters leaned in, pen scribbling. Booker shifted uncomfortably. Kennedy's voice softened. "I've sat in hospital rooms with parents who lost their children to drugs. I've held the hands of veterans who feel forgotten by the very government they fought to protect. I've stood in the mud with farmers who lost their crops, their savings, and their hope. Those moments don't make headlines, but they make a man. And they remind me why I stand here every day." He locked eyes with Booker now, though his tone never turned cruel. "You see, politics isn't theater. It isn't about who can cut the deepest with their tongue. It's about showing up for people who can't be in this room. It's about lifting voices that are too often ignored. If that makes me an obstructionist, then so be it. I'll obstruct anything that hurts the people I swore an oath to protect." A murmur rippled through the chamber. Some senators nodded, others sat stone-faced, but no one dared interrupt. Kennedy continued, his voice gaining strength. "We can disagree, Senator Booker. Lord knows we will. But disagreement should never become disrespect, because when we forget the humanity of the people we serve or of each other, we collapse the very foundation of this country." The final words landed heavy. Kennedy closed his notebook, stepped back from the microphone, and walked away without waiting for applause. But applause came anyway. Scattered at first, then swelling, echoing across the chamber. Booker sat frozen, his earlier confidence shattered. The weight of Kennedy's words sank into him like stone. He wasn't just embarrassed, he was convicted. The insult he'd thrown so casually had been answered not with venom, but with dignity, and that dignity left him hollow. Outside, the video of Kennedy's speech spread like wildfire. Clips dominated social media feeds, not as partisan sound bites but as a rare reminder of grace in politics. Messages poured in from across the country, parents, veterans, farmers, and everyday citizens who felt seen in Kennedy's words. And for Booker, the regret was real. In interviews days later, he softened his tone, acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, he'd gone too far. But for Kennedy, The victory wasn't about humiliating a rival. It was about reminding the nation of something deeper, that true strength doesn't lie in insults or applause. It lies in standing firm with humility, in refusing to meet cruelty with cruelty, and in remembering that every seat in the chamber belongs to the people, not the politicians. That was the day Cory Booker learned the hard way that words meant to wound can sometimes build something stronger instead, and it was the day John Kennedy reminded America that character still matters even when the cameras are rolling.